Hi, guys. Thank you for tuning in to Why I Swiped Right. So, this will be my very first, what I'm going to call journal entry. This is where my safe space where I can just come and vent about my dates, dating experience, and basically what I'm currently going through as a single woman in LA navigating the dating scene. So, 2 weeks ago, I went on a date with someone I matched with on Hinge. I signed up for Hinge on Saturday night. Sunday morning, I get a match with a guy, and I had been on Hinge before, but this is me like I guess starting over, creating a new account, and the whole shebang. So I create this account, I match with the guy. I create the account on Saturday, match with the guy on Sunday. First thing he says, "Hey, can I take you to brunch?" It's like, no, what's your name? Because my real name, I don't put it on those apps. And I'm just like, is there any, you don't want to ask any preliminary questions? You just want to meet up? How do you know I'm really the person behind the photos? Like, this is a crazy world. That is dangerous, just to like somebody, match with somebody and say, meet me, meet me for brunch right now. So, long story short, I had matched with the guy before. I recognized his pictures. The story seemed to add up from the previous time we matched. So I gave him my Google number, not my real number. Ladies, take notes. So I gave him my Google number and told him, call me, whatever. So he calls. We get the preliminary questions out the way. He seems like a decent person. He seems decent. He's, I think, 41 or 43. I can't remember his age. Um, he was actually from LA, born and raised. Take note on that. Also, he said he was a doctor, but he wasn't really a doctor. He was some kind of nurse that was studying to be, or to take the tests to get into med school so he can be an anesthesiologist. Okay. So I agreed to meet with him. So we met up for brunch at this cute little place in downtown LA. So we get there. I'm like 9 minutes late. I take an Uber. I'm a little late. I notified him, let him know I'm going to be late. Of course, I have to be respectful. If you want to get respect, you give respect. So, I get there and he's sitting on the patio already there with a drink. And so I get out the Uber across the street. He's waving. I get there. He seems super nervous. He leaves the table and walks over and has me meet him at the bar. And obviously, I could tell these people already knew he was expecting me. Like, he had been talking about me before I got there, which is fine. That's cool. So I'm 9 minutes late and he makes a little joke about it, but almost like being shady. And um so we go sit at the table. So he tells me to order at the bar. So I order my food, my brunch. We go sit down, we start talking, and he's like being extremely loud about the fact that we met on Hinge. And I'm just like, dude, keep your voice down. In my head, I'm like, why are you being so loud about where we met? It's okay. We're here now. Like, that's the art of the preliminary conversations and the getting to know you phase. So when you get together, it's not a big deal that you met on a dating app. So anyway, I guess he didn't get that memo. So we're sitting there, and I guess this is his spot because he knows quite a few people. So some random cute little black couple starts crossing the street. Keep in mind, we're sitting at a patio in downtown LA. So he's yelling across the street at the couple that's walking across the street. Hey, he knows their names. He's saying them out loud. And he's asking them where they're going, where they're coming from. And then he looks to introduce me and he says my name and says, "Oh, yeah, I met her on Hinge. She met me right now. We met up because I met her on Hinge." And, the lady kind of looks like, "Dude, what do you say?" Like any respectable person will know you don't have to make an announcement that you met on Hinge. It's okay. I compare it to like when a woman is on her period. Like you don't have to make an announcement you're on your period. It's natural, but it's like, okay, thank you. This is nobody's business. Like, why are you telling the world? So that couple was nice. They chatted for a couple seconds and, kept going. So the food comes out, we start eating. Everything's going okay. Our conversation was actually really good. I don't know if it was the drinks that had us just being real free. His Google Watch kept getting notifications, and I didn't know. I don't have a Google phone or Google Watch, but when he got notifications, a lot of them were from Hinge. So women's pictures kept popping up on his phone. And just out of respect, I was like, "Listen, you're getting a lot of messages. Do you want to check your app?" And then he was like, "Well, let me check yours." And I was like, "You know what? I got about 17." I told him, I was like, "I got about 17 matches last night. And I swiped left on all of them because I'm really looking for something special. Like the games, the player type, all the drink liquors, and I don't know. It's just your page has to give me a vibe. Everybody's just swiping because they're bored." So, I he showed me his page, and he is literally copy and pasting the same message to all the women. And if you've ever been on Hinge, if your conversation has been inactive for some time, it'll put you in a status of hidden. He had over 187 hidden messages. Like basically, I was like, "Well, how long have you been on this app?" And he's like, "Oh, for 1 month." And I know he's lying. He's been on way longer than a month. If you've got that many on Hinge, and also I'd matched with him, forever ago. So anyway, we we're still talking, and the girls are cute, and I was like, "So which one are you thinking about meeting up with?" And we're talking about our matches, and then that's when it got a little bit awkward. It's like, okay, we're both kind of just doing too much talking about other people. So then all of a sudden somebody else is walking across the street. We are still sitting on the patio, and he recognizes a guy. And this guy is walking with another guy. And the guy that he knows seemed a little more masculine, but the guy that his friend was with, and we're just going to call this his friend James. So the guy that James is walking across the street with is obviously a very openly gay male. So he's like, "James, what's up?" And so the way the patio is set up, there's like a little barricade, and then there's the sidewalks. So we're sitting on the inside of the patio, on the inside of the barricade, and then his friend James, and James is very, nice friend, is standing on the outside. So my date, we're just gonna call him Terry. Terry was like, "James, where you going, man? Come inside. Come sit with us." And James like, "Oh, well, I'm coming inside, but I think we're gonna get our own table. This is my friend. He's a travel." Oh no, he said my friend is a flight attendant, and he's only in town for one night. So I'm thinking, okay, James, I'm clocking your T, James. But so James comes inside the patio, and they get a seat like closer to the door, and we're sitting on the other side of the patio. So, of course, Terry, a few drinks in, feeling nice and tipsy, or maybe that's just how he is. I don't know. So Terry's like calling James over to our table, asking James to take shots, and James is refusing. And Of course, here we go again. Another embarrassing moment. Yeah, James, I met her on Hinge. And I'm like, if this dude tells one more person that we met on Hinge, I don't know. I just cringe inside just hearing it. It's just like, why does the world need to know that? So James is like, oh, okay. Well, I'm glad to know Hinge works. I kind of chuckled when he said that, but he was really being genuine. So James goes back over to sit with his flight attendant boo friend. And then as James leaves, Terry tells me, oh, yeah, I've never seen James with girls. I've known him for quite a few years, and I've never seen him with a girl, never even heard him talk about girls. I was like, oh, yeah, you didn't know he was gay? I was like, that's probably his boyfriend he's with. And then Terry's like getting all like, oh, I didn't know that. Now, keep in mind, I'll make other videos about this, but I have a tendency to attract men that are in the closet. I don't know why it is, or maybe I have no idea. But guys are looking for women. Some guys are looking for women to hide their true feelings. And I don't know why, but I'll make more videos. I'm definitely going to post some about my past dating life, navigating through, oh my gosh, guys in the closet. It is crazy. So we get our food, we're eating, we're talking, and we're actually having a good time. Terry orders another round of mimosas, and I'm just like, I don't think I can do another round of mimosas. But, I'm sipping slow. I ate most of my food, my brunch, so I'm feeling like, okay, we'll do it. Then the owner comes around with a shot for us, and I'm like, oh my God, I am not a drinker. I'm a lightweight. I'm on a date with this dude that I don't even know. And I don't know. So we sipped the shot. I sipped the shot. They chugged their shots. Um, Everything's going okay. Like I said, the conversation was good. Like Terry shared with me that his mom passed away recently from a drug overdose. He'd never known a sober mother. He was raised by his grandma, and his grandma had also passed away a few months after his mom. So he was dealing with a lot of loss, and he was in counseling. And to be honest, I don't know what it is, but the more spiritual, the more I pray, the more religious I am, I kind of pick up on certain things. And I was really picking up on the fact that this guy was hurting from something. I could feel it. Like he needs validation. He needs like stability, some kind of like, I don't know, but I could feel like he was in pain. And okay, so we eat, we drink, we took shots with the owners, and now I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go to the movies. Like I was, okay, first round done. He had been talking so much about all his matches. I was like, okay, trying to leave so he could tend to his Hinge account. But no, he's like, I was telling him I was going to go to the movies. I wanted to see Color Purple. And he was like, oh, I'll go to the movies with you, but I can't watch trauma-filled movies. And I was like, okay, well, let's see what else is out. So he didn't want to go to the movies after all. He wanted to go to another bar. So we go to this beautiful rooftop bar. He drives because I took an Uber there. He has a really nice brand new car. It's not like a luxury car. It's just a very nice car. And so we get to valet at the second location at the rooftop, and just so happens the same time we pull up, there's a girl getting out of her car, also in valet, and he acts as though he had never seen a woman before. He was trying to get her attention, like literally went into a trance staring at her. And now this is LA, a city full of absolutely gorgeous women. This woman was a good looking girl, but not someone that needed that kind of attention while I was standing there. Okay. So the girl pays him dust, doesn't even look his way. She gets out her car, pays for her valet, and keeps it pushing. So we get on the elevator. You have to wait for we have to wait for the one of the representatives at the front desk to let you in. So we go upstairs. There's a bar, and then there's also like outside of the bar, like a pool area, tables, the beautiful rooftop. So the bar was empty. So we were going to sit at the bar. So he starts going in like Mr. Flirt, Mr. I've never seen women before. There's like maybe this woman is like a Russian, kind of older looking, maybe even, kind of like, I would say soft stud looking girl, bartender. And he's like, hey, he's just so happy to see her. He's excited. So he can't wait to sit at the bar with her. So as soon as we're about to pull out our chairs and sit at the bar, this waitress comes out and he goes nuts. He's so happy to see the waitress. They're hugging and talking. And at this point, all of the extra conversation with women is starting to get a little old. Like the attention seeking from other women, it's starting to feel a little disrespectful. But, I play it cool after he and the girl, exchange their hugs and I mean, he gave me a church hug, but he gave this girl a hug like, oh, I wish I could have you kind of hug. And now this girl was drop dead gorgeous. She was a standard beauty, very pretty girl. So instead of us sitting at the bar, he's like, oh no, I want to sit in your section. And I'm like, great. Okay, here we go. So we go and we're going to sit in her section. I'm kind of checking out the rooftop. There's a beautiful pool. The view is so nice. And there's a table. We end up sitting in that waitress's section. And we sit next to this amazing guy and maybe his two like mentees. It was like an older Latin guy, kind of heavy set. And then he was with two younger like white kids. And my date just walks up to the guy, gives him a hug. Hey, man, good to see you. And it didn't dawn on me that he didn't know this man until after they were leaving. And he's like introducing himself. And he offered to pay for their meal and everything and buy them drinks. And I was just like, what is going on with this guy? He's just my date. He's just doing the most. Terry is doing the most. So Terry calms down. The table next to us leaves. The very nice people, they leave. So our waitress comes over, takes our drink order, and he's just